What's up, guys? Welcome back to Follow the Thread, a video series where we talk about all things Ethnotek. And this particular episode will be taking an adventure to India to visit the artisans that hand weave the textiles that go into your bags. So we'll be talking about the details of the process so you guys can understand that a bit more. And then we'll be giving a brief history of the area as well. So let's start our journey and head to Gujarat. The main jump-off point for our sourcing trips is Ahmedabad. We then take an overnight bus to Bhuj, whose surrounding villages are where most of our textiles are created. Bhuj is an incredibly colorful and diverse little city that is nestled in the Great Kutch Desert region. The Jadela Rajputs took control of Kutch in 1510 and made Bhuj their capital 29 years later, and it has remained Kutch's most important town ever since. The population of present-day Kutch is around 300,000 people, and it's home to 25 different ethnic groups spread across over 100 different villages. The ethnic groups that we're closely linked to are the Rabaris and the Vankars. For centuries, handwoven textiles have been the Vankars' main source of income and cultural expression, which unfortunately has seen a significant decline in local demand. In 1945, 4,800 looms were counted in the Vankar society, and had steeply declined to 900 looms in 2011. The main contributing factors to loss of local demand are long lead times and high price of the finished product, which means that a loss of this demand means a loss of job opportunities in passing this tradition along. Without sustainable employment in keeping this craft alive, artisans are forced to take jobs outside of the village, primarily in factories in the surrounding area. And the crux of the problem is that when an art form such as handmade textiles vanishes, so too does a small part of the cultural identity that is woven into them. And this is the sole reason why Ethnotek is in business, to prevent this from happening by bringing a global marketplace directly to the artisans. The weaving process begins with hand-dyed yarn, which is then stretched across a wooden frame which can span hundreds of meters depending on the size of our fabric order. And each individual yarn is separated by hand so that it can dry evenly and so the colors don't bleed together. After the yarn is dried, it is then spooled together to create the warp, which is essentially the base layer of the woven fabric, and is a very intricate process and mostly done by women in the community. The warp is fed into the shedders, or reeds, and the reeds are set up specific to the motif of the textile design. The amount of reeds used is dependent on the detail and intricacy of the design motif. Reeds are elevated up and down, operated by foot pedal, to allow space for the bobbin and shuttle to pass through. This process creates the weft, the horizontal lines that define the motif. The main type of loom used is called a pit loom, which essentially is a concrete slab with a recess in which the artisan sits inside of. This type of loom is preferred because it's cheap and easy to set up at home, and the recess keeps the artisan cool in the desert heat. The design process that makes these textiles so unique is called extra weft weaving. This is a very time-consuming and detail-oriented process, whereby the artisan lifts each individual warp thread and passes through a horizontal thread one at a time to define the motif, which is essentially embroidery on the loom, and the look and feel is nearly impossible to replicate by machine. Pretty incredible, right? What can I say? I'm honored and thankful to be close to that process, and that the artisans that create these textiles welcomed us into their homes, into their villages, to be a part of that, and and that they see the positive impact of our business and what we're trying to do here, and that it's working, and it's so cool. It's just mind-blowing to me how detailed and intricate that process is, and it's so cool to see an entire community rally around it in order to make a finished piece like what you see here. And I'm thankful, I'm grateful. I can't even believe that it's my job. What can I say? And none of it would be possible without you guys, our tribe. By buying a bag, you're propelling this thing forward. You're keeping it moving. So thank you so much, and let's keep it going. So I'm not going to ramble on anymore. I just want you guys to look forward to the next episode, where we'll be introducing some of the key figures that are spearheading the revival projects and keeping handmade textiles alive and well. So stay tuned to next time. Hope you guys are as excited as I am. So we'll see you then.